So last year I made $382,530 doing something most people don't even know exists. It allowed me to go from in college, I hated it. High school, didn't like school, never, wanted to go to school, do the traditional path, to then within 18 months living my best life. Here's my car, here's me on vacation in Mexico, here's me, in Dallas chilling out, and there's me with my business partner James. And, by the way, everybody I show this model to gets similar results if they really put in the work and try. Because for the first time ever, a complete beginner, completely from scratch, can operate at the same level as a 4-year expert within this model. And as you can see here, wins all over the place. All you got to do is apply yourself. And just so we can keep moving forward without you thinking that, I'm some fraud claiming, all this stuff without, backing anything up. Here's a bunch of, bank transactions that you can see here, just a couple that I went through to throw on the screen. But you're probably asking, how can I even do this? Like, how do you do this without, spending thousands on ads just to test what works? Working insane hours just to, make somewhat decent of an income. Needing tons of previous business experience. A complete beginner can do this. And this is what most people, think making money online looks like. Sell courses, post content every day, build an audience, go viral, and then find a, get rich quick model. And that's just, that's not how it is. Trust me, this is literally what I used to think, and that's why I stayed a brokey way longer than I had to. The actual problem nobody talks about is, talent does not equal monetization. Attention does not equal money, and skill does not equal distribution either. The internet does not reward skill, it rewards how you position yourself. So what's actually happening right now, there's millions of businesses. There's so many businesses in this country, in this world, even in your state, in your county, in your city. There's so many businesses. Most of them have no systems, no AI integrations. They have leads, but there's no backend. These businesses already won the hardest game. They just never finished the last step. And that's because they never figured out the last step. That's what you're there to do. They're sitting on money. They do not know how to collect it, though. Now, pay attention, because this is literally the part that most people will miss. Businesses they don't need more leads. They have plenty. They need back-end operators, and that's how I make my money. This realization is literally where I fell into a business that I knew absolutely nothing about and landed my first client in 3 weeks. So what I do, this is in plain English. I help businesses make more money from the lead flow that they already have, or I'll generate new ones as well. I don't code. I'm not cold calling. I'm not spending thousands on ads. I don't touch anything on the front end. I simply partner with businesses that are already established, help them implement systems, and that's going to make them more money, and I take a profit off of that. So let me make this even simpler for you, because once this clicks, you could, completely change your life just like I did. So, and this is what we're working with. Businesses that already have cash flow, they already have leads, and they're already operating their business. I take care of the systems, I take care of the AI, the backends, and sometimes I'll deal with leads if it's, a correct scenario. How do we get clients, you may ask? Well, I used to cold call, I used to when I started up my business, but I'm way past that point now. I now have cold callers that call pretty much on my behalf, and I pay them a commission. So that way, all I have to deal with is managing and closing. Now I have closers and managers, so I can focus on just building my business as much as possible. Payment, charge, 500 to 3K build out. You're going to pay that, commission right there. Charge 500 to 5K monthly. That's all the money that you're going to get to keep. Most of the monthly goes straight into your pocket. Think about it like being on salary, but you don't have to go into the office. That's how I like to think about it. Then all you're going to do is collect and repeat. Now you might be, kind of concerned about, well, I don't know how to make AI systems. How do I do that? Well, that's where the DevWorks comes in, right? Outsource, 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 and outsource. You don't need to spend your time building systems. You don't need to spend your time learning AI. No, you need to spend your time learning how to actually acquire clients. Client acquisition is going to be what you need to spend your time on. Wasting your time building, all these tools and using all these new tools and building all this stuff, it's only going to hold you back, because at the end of the day, there's new tools coming out every single day. And if you're spending so much time trying to get into all these new tools, it's not going to benefit you to the extent that you may think it will. And this business model, you don't guess what to sell. I help businesses capture more revenue that they didn't even know that they were losing, right? Now, I want you to understand why this works and everything, else feels hard. There's no audience needed. You don't need to be on social media. There's no coding needed. There's no product risk, because everything is digital. You don't have to have inventory. You're not starting from zero. You're not starting a business from scratch. You're literally stepping into a business that's already proven, and they already have money to spend, and you're going to help them there. You may think, but I don't have the skills needed to, help these businesses make more money. And you know what? 2 years ago, you would have been 100% correct. But now the skill barrier is completely erased due to AI. The old reality is, years of coding, website building, market research, thousands of dollars on ads, grind, cold calling, trial and error, then you might succeed. But the new reality is the devs build the project, AI builds the websites, AI does the market research, your team does the outreach, AI analyzes your business owner meetings, and you'll get your first client in under 14 days if you execute. Which means for the first time ever, a complete beginner can operate at the level that a multi-year expert can on day one. So now that you understand a complete beginner can do this at the same level as a 4-year expert, I want you to understand the opportunity that you have at hand here. 100% of businesses know that they need AI. 95% of businesses don't know where to start. That's the thing. There are 34 million businesses in the US. There are 300 to 400 million worldwide. 240 to 300 billion dollars is what the AI economy is worth. And by 2030, it's going to be 800 billion to 1.3 trillion, which means this model is not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, honestly, the opportunity to win long term in this model is only going to grow as more tools come out, developer costs get lower. It's only going to, be a better spot to be in coming up here. Now, you may ask where, all of this is headed. Well, businesses will keep popping up. AI is going to keep growing. Supply and demand, there's always going to be demand for this because businesses need AI, or if they have AI, they need more AI integration so that they can, unfortunately, bring, their expenses down from paying employees. Businesses will need operators. Athletes don't negotiate their own contracts. Businesses don't, run their own backends. That should make sense to you. So now that you kind of understand what allowed me to go from pretty much literally, again, like I said, in college, no idea what I was going to do, sold insurance for a bit, hated it, and just completely lost in life, to literally living the life I've always wanted, I want you to understand that you can do this too. Whether you have 5 years experience, 0, you've never made $1 online, or have a social media presence, it does not matter. And as you can see, wins all over the place. Anthony absolutely killed it. 4K his first 2 weeks. Right here, Lucas, he just joined 9 days ago. Dude's already got 3 clients worth $6,000 a month. So if this piques your interest in the slightest, I'm going to leave a link below. You can book a quick strategy call with me where you and I can kind of go over everything, see what, plan we can put together to actually, get you to those goals that you want to hit. Quick 15-minute, call just to see if we're a good fit to work together and pretty much see how we can get you to your goals. And, obviously I'll probably take a rev share just because I can't work for free, But with that being said, all the proof is right here. Beginners can go make money now. It is the most revolutionary thing that we've seen since literally the World Wide Web came out. And if you hop on the trend now, position yourself to make a lot of money. If you don't, you're going to miss out. So take advantage of what we have right now and go make some money.